Welcome. I want you to know this isn't a lesson. Think of this more as a transmission. We're going to be exploring an internal architecture, a framework of personal sovereignty that, believe it or not, exists within your very bones. You didn't arrive here to be taught something new. You're here to remember, to finish a cycle. It's about returning to a point of origin, a place where your authority is absolute and it's unquestioned. It's about finally completing the blueprint you arrived with in the first place.
The origin story of our own internal conflict, it really begins with a cosmic myth. Picture it, Ion and Ananke, time and inevitability. They once existed as this perfect, unbroken whole, but then this perfection was fractured, and that created the very first crack in the universe. And that primal split, well, that's the source of all the dualities we experience every single day, both outside and inside ourselves, light and dark, chaos and order.
But here's the thing, this huge cosmic story, it's not just some myth out there in the universe. It actually descended into our very biology. It's imprinted right there in our skeletal system, in our bones, holding the codes of our most authentic, creative nature. And this internal system, we call it the 12-rib framework. Each of the 12 ribs represents a really foundational aspect of your being. And together, they cage the heart, but not just to protect it. They're there to hold this sacred tension between your fractured state, where you feel scattered and powerless, and your cohesive state, where you feel aligned and sovereign. So, out of all these, there's one we're going to zero in on today. It's absolutely critical. It's the 10th rib, and it's known as kingdom. This is the structural seat of your authority. So let's take a closer look at what it's all about. The kingdom rib governs your personal rulership. Simple as that. Its archetype is the sovereign unknown, which represents that authority you find when you dare to claim the unmapped territories of your own nature. Its element is earth, grounded, stable, real. Its tone is one of sovereignty and beauty, and its main job, its core function, is to establish your authority and maintain your boundaries. It's really the architectural anchor of your self-worth.
And this really gets to the core truth of it all. See, sovereignty isn't something you go out and achieve or earn. It's your birthright. You are the kingdom, and you are its ruler. The only thing you have to do is realize it, remember it, and then embody it.
So when it comes to the kingdom rib, the central conflict really boils down to a single choice, every single day. Do you abdicate your throne, just give your power away? Or do you claim your authority and rule your own internal world? So, let's look at what these two states actually feel like. On one side, you have fracture. This is when you abdicate your throne just to feel like you belong. You scatter your loyalty. You hand your authority over to people who can't even carry it, all because you're looking for validation outside of yourself. But then there's cohesion. This is when you reclaim your seat. Your standards, they become law. You choose devotion to yourself over the attention of others, and you rule your internal world with total, absolute coherence. Now, to really get this, to feel it, there's an archetype that brings this whole journey to life. The sovereign unknown. Its story is the perfect illustration of that exact moment a kingdom is claimed. The story begins in a car park. The scene is just so visceral. You can almost smell the burning rubber, hear the roar of the engine. It's a first burnout. It's this moment of pure, raw, unadulterated creation and defiance.
But you have to understand the context here. This wasn't just some teenager acting out. No, this was a conscious break from 12 years of conditioning, a complete rejection of a path that was never really her own.
See, the act itself, the burnout, that wasn't really the point. The real event, the true moment, was the claiming of territory. It was the creation of a space, a piece of the world that answered only to her. Right there, in that moment, a kingdom was claimed. In this story, it shows us something so fundamental, doesn't it? The parts of yourself that you suffocate to fit in, to follow the rules, they don't just vanish. They wait, and eventually, they erupt. True sovereignty isn't about controlling these parts. It's about giving them permission to finally have expression, to be seen, and to be integrated.
Okay, so a myth, a story, what does this actually mean for you, right now? This isn't just an abstract idea, it's a practical architecture. So let's bring this into your own life and start the process of you claiming your world.
So here's a direct path, a way you can start your own internal audit. First, recognize the fracture. Where in your life are you giving your power away? Second, locate your throne. What is the one area of your life that must answer only to you? And third, assess the state of your authority. Are your standards law or are they negotiable?
Let's leave it with this. Your internal world is a kingdom, and in its very center, there is a throne. The most important, most powerful question you can ask yourself is this: who is sitting on it? Is it you, or have you handed that seat to someone else?